Right. So fire activity surprisingly did moderate some overnight. However, they did experience winds at about 25 to 35 miles per hour throughout the night, throughout their night shift. Yesterday, the fire did make a 5.5-mile run to the northeast towards the community of South Fork. Again, this is a wind-driven fire. They had 65-mile-per-hour gusts on this fire yesterday. And again, due to that wind, they weren't able to use heavy aircraft. The fire is still pushing to the northeast towards the community of South Fork. It's near Coon Canyon. The fire is hung up on the west side in some bluffs and inaccessible terrain. So unfortunately, that's the side where we would need the help of aircraft. But because of the high winds, we may not be able to use heavy aircraft again today. However, there are some positives. The crews did make progress overnight. They were able to secure the heel of the fire, which is in Greer. Those lines are holding. They were able to get in containment line around the north side of the fire with the help of a dozer. They conducted firing operations last night also, working from the north side down to the south, tying that line into existing trails and roadways. And crews are using those features to help tie in their containment line. Dozers are working as well. We have hotshot crews, hand crews. We're also the resources are conducting structure protection ahead of the fire in the community of South Fork, so they're actively engaged in those areas. So again, they did make some progress overnight despite the winds. Another challenge resources will be faced with again today is those winds, red flag warnings for the area, hot and dry conditions, high winds with gusts expected up to 45 miles per hour.
Okay, did it get into South Fork, or is it just kind of hovering?
It's kind of hovering around South Fork, but they are
really don't want it to get in that canyon.
No, they don't want it to get in the canyon. That's what they're working is trying to keep it out of the canyon, because once you get in the canyon, fueled by winds, it's going to be problematic. So again, they're actively engaged on that north side. They're also looking at scouting out contingency lines. So putting contingency line in, it's going to be like a buffer for the main line should the fire jump that main line. But we have about 150 personnel assigned to the fire. The state brought up 2 task forces of engines to support wherever the fire needs, but also basically for structure protection. We also have mutual aid that came from across the state. That mutual aid won't be supporting the fire per se, but they're going to be backfilling for the local fire departments that are actively engaged on the fire.
150 seems low.
Yes, but we are still waiting on resources to come in. Some of the resources that are coming in, we've got resources coming from Pima County, so that's going to take a while to get up here. We've got resources coming across from all of the state, so it does take some time to get up here, but once they get in and get settled, they'll be assigned a division and they'll get to work.
Yeah, the remoteness does not help.
No, it doesn't. No, it really doesn't. And again, at the time, the state was in unified command with the Forest Service, and we have now a Type 3 incident management team on the fire. Tomorrow morning, a complex incident management team will take command of the fire. That will help bring more overhead, more command and general staff, more resources to the area to support this incident.
How much danger is Springerville, Eager, well, not Springerville, Eager, that whole area actually in?
People just need to be mindful of the conditions and surroundings, especially if you live in Eager and Springerville. Pay attention to the weather. We could have wind shifts. The red flag conditions aren't going to help. The wind gusts up to 45 miles per hour aren't going to help. Sign up for emergency alerts through your county's emergency management website if you haven't done so. And then you'll be able to keep on top of if there's a go or a set notification. But just critical things, be alert of the weather, pay attention to the news, pay attention to the ever-changing fire conditions, have a go bag ready, especially if you're in set. We try to give the public ample time to get out of their homes, but oftentimes it's happened before on fires. Our resources are going door to door evacuating people. So be prepared, know which direction you're going to travel. Remember the 260 is closed into and out of Greer. Have a go bag ready. Important items like prescriptions, water, snacks, clothes for a couple of days, documents, passports, IDs, things like that. Have your pets with you. I know it sounds silly, but we've had multiple people call us saying they've left their pets behind. Not on this incident, but in incidents past. Oftentimes we can't send our personnel back in to get your animals. So prescription, pets, take care of your elderly people, if they're visiting or staying with you, make sure their bags are packed as well.
Greer Fire this morning posted, well, overnight I guess, posted 4 structures. Now that sound all too well.
Time to get to class.
Yeah, time to get to class. Posted 4 structures lost, didn't say what it was. 4 sound right or possibly more?
3 structures damaged, 3 structures destroyed, 1 travel trailer. What types of structures are unknown. The situation was so fluid in Greer yesterday that they were just trying to get evacuations and get ahead of the fire. So they will be doing damage assessments in that community over the next couple of days. But that's where we are right now. 3 structures and a possible travel trailer.
So that could go up, possibly.
It could, but again,
searching they've actually done in that area.
right, exactly. But there is some damage in that area, some destroyed structures. Again, we don't know what type of structures those are. Once they get in there and do a better damage assessment, we'll have a better idea.
It looks like this thing kind of threaded the needle, and we got really freaking lucky.
Yeah.
Because I know where those neighborhoods are, and I know where it could have gone, and
It kind of bumped up and around. Yep, it kind of bumped up and around. Again, one of the biggest concerns is that canyon. They're trying to keep it out of Coons Canyon. The winds, terrain driven in that area, could fan the fire out and push it out farther to the northeast. But at this time, again, 150 resources, personnel actively engaged across all flanks of the fire, using direct, indirect tactics, doing structure protection around the properties in South Fork and other outlying areas. We have more resources on the way, and yeah.
I think Greer Fire also said transformer.
At this time, the Forest Service is investigating the fire. We don't want to say, or if we know, we don't want to speculate because we need to wait for that document. It's a legal binding document, and we want to wait until that investigation is concluded.
I'm too tired, I forgot where I was going.
I know, it's okay.
Yeah, basically you guys, that's where I was gonna go. Forest Service has done a bunch of fire breaks and things in that area. Is that helping? Because really, what can you do? You got dozers, you're not getting a hand crew to cross South Fork Canyon.
Right.
It's too high and too steep, and what can you even do if you can't get an air tanker to drop on that ridge?
We have to rely on ground resources. We do have a Type 1 helicopter assigned to the fire. I'm sorry, we have a Type 3 helicopter assigned to the fire. We're requesting 2 Type 1 helicopters as well. If the situation changes, we may be able to order water scoopers to scoop out of Lyman Lake. Again, that's just down the road. We've got to take things hour by hour when we're talking the weather. You know, I can't speak on behalf of the fuels work that was conducted because I just don't have that information. I can tell you the fire did hit the Wallow Fire burn scar and kind of just moved right through it. There's a lot of dead and down fuels in there. The grasses have grown back. The fire's almost 10 years old by now. So even though it did hit the burn scar, typically that fire should slow down when it hits that area, but it kind of just moved through there because of the dead and down that's still in that area and the grass that has grown back.
The intensity at least drop?
To some degree, but it's really the winds that are creating the extreme fire behavior. And so today is another challenge with those winds. Because they do have some containment line established, today is really going to be the testing point to see if those lines hold in the wind.
And then last thing, do we have any idea why it didn't blow up like I assumed it would overnight?
I think.
Were we lucky? Is that?
I think because the winds died down a little, but it was still high winds yesterday. I mean, everybody experienced them. The windows were rattling where we were staying yesterday. So
5 miles in 8 hours at 30 miles an hour, 5 miles an hour, and it doesn't look like it moved at all.
Cooler temperatures to some degree helped. Increased relative humidity levels helped as well. The fire didn't lay down completely, but the activity did moderate some. And that's when we're talking about red flag warnings. The critical factors with red flag warnings are high winds and low relative humidity levels. That's really the recipe for critical fire weather. When we're talking about improved relative humidities overnight, and we're talking about when fires lay down, that's due to temperatures increasing, relative humidity levels increasing, so it's kind of the opposite. So then the fire behavior moderates. So that is what did help last night, helped crews get around some of the fire and make some progress.
I don't know what else is burning, but are we pretty high priority if the winds die down enough to get us, I don't know, VLAT?
So as far as the state, we still have the Coyote Fire, which is northeast of Springerville. That one, there's not a lot of structures in the area of that fire. They did stop forward progress the night that fire started. They do have some containment on that fire. The Bryce fire is down by Safford, just west of Safford. They weren't really able to use aircraft either because of the high winds.
I'm sorry, I did not
No,
know
that's
that our
fine.
school bell was an elk call.
That's awesome.
That's
That's great.
hilarious to me.
So
Anyway,
anyways, no, that's okay. Bryce Fire experienced the same challenges, wasn't able to use a lot of aircraft on that fire because, again, the high winds, and they were also experiencing the red flag conditions over there. But because of where this fire is, because of the communities surrounding this fire, we could be high priority if we were able to or request a LAT or a VLAT. Again, that also depends on what's happening in the region. Should a fire break out in New Mexico, that's higher priority than this one. All fires are priority, but you know that's established at our regional level when we're requesting aircraft. But right now, this is really the active fire in the region, and so it is a priority fire.
Anything else?
No. Oh, just to mention, and for your knowledge, stage 2 fire restrictions are now in effect in this area for the White Mountains. So that's for state, federal, and tribal lands. Those went into effect yesterday.
I think if you're caught smoking,